Welcome everyone, and it's my pleasure to have you here for this training. We will go through the 1 minute e-learning platform planner um, during this half an hour, 45 minutes, and I will teach you a set of um, rules of this game of setting up an e-learning platform and resolve a lot of issues that come with this territory. Yeah, this is a planner that I myself use when I build platforms inside the business for ourselves and when I interface with customers and clients. The goal is to create clarity before starting the development or the building process. It's very important. The biggest mistake that you can do when building such a platform is to start from the wrong end. And the wrong end is to spend a lot of time with the tool. Okay? You inevitably go and do some mistakes which cost a lot of time and a lot of money. If you interface with the client, yes, a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of frustration. Why? Let's just create a picture. If you have a tree that is this size, okay, you can chop it down with a small saw. Yeah. If you have a tree that is much bigger like this, you need a chainsaw, right? So the tool changes depending on what you need to do. Now, if you have a small tree like this and you have a chainsaw that is that big, you inevitably, you have a tool that is too big for the job. And what the people do, and what clients do, they go feature hunting, and evaluate all these tools and just get lost in the details of the tools, without having clarity on what kind of tree they need to chop down. And this is, in my experience, what eats up a lot of time and eats up a lot of resources that go just wasted for nothing. Yeah, so we want to avoid this, and during this training today, I'm going to give you this tool, and you'll avoid these kinds of situations where a lot of time goes by for nothing. Yeah, because we need to create this clarity first. We need to have clarity what we want to build, and then we go back to the tool and just choose the things we need to get the job done. So that's the purpose of this planner. And this planner is very easy. It's very, very easy. During this training, it will take a little bit longer to go through this, but once you install this into your hardware, you can go with the clients through this and plan it for yourself when you build a platform and for a client. Now, this is a no compromise situation. All right, so you don't want to proceed and do anything before you don't have clarity around the points that we will go through now. Even when I build a platform for a client, for example, a bigger client, yeah, I will not proceed and go through the features if there is not ultimate clarity on each single point that I will illustrate to you. So the first step, what I do is I use a project management tool. We use that in our business just to run the business and even run the client relationship. You want to do this also for yourself, because in a way, when you build a platform for yourself, you are the client, so you are your own client. And that can be a difficult relationship, if there is no clarity there. We use Basecamp, and what I do there is I will list those questions there because, and then work on elaborating the answers. It's the big answers that we will go through now, yeah? I will elaborate the answers, and I will also involve the whole team in this elaboration process. Because if you have a bigger platform, for example, that you build, the technology is not so much the obstacle in getting the things done. The main obstacle that you have and that you need to actually, get done, the big job that you need to get done is to get the whole team on the same page. That means you have a team on your end that might be you, yourself, just one person, or you have a team, with you that is like 1, 2, 3, 4 people, or you have a team on the other end which can be composed of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, even. And now you have, very quickly, there is like 6, 7, 8 people involved in a project, and if you don't create the clarity, you waste a lot of time. You just want to do this in the beginning. So what we are about to go through now is a no compromise. There is no compromise. There is no proceeding with construction of anything if there is no clarity around these fundamental points. And what this is also, this in a way is also like an evaluation tool to assess the level of skill and competency of your client, because the questions that we are about to ask, they are very simple. There are no difficult questions. But if your client or yourself cannot answer these simple questions, don't get lost trying to build stuff, because it's just like starting from the wrong end. If you don't know what to build, why you build it, how it is structured, you will just lose yourself in all the options, in all the features. And, instead of taking 7 days to get it done, or even 1 day, that's the time we normally take now. We are so in tune with this. We can build a platform in a few days, because we just work on this first. Yeah. You just get lost in all the features and all the options, and, and then you discover something else. And that's how this works. You just start diving in, and then you discover something, then you can do something else, and then you can do something else, and then it never ends. And I had situations where it took 7, 8 months to get everyone on the same page. 7, 8 months to build a platform, and this with the coaches that actually are in the business for 30 years, 30 plus years. They know what they do. They breathe and they eat. It's them. They train and they do seminars, they do workshops, and now we have to create this platform. And not having these questions clear turn 7 days into 7 months. That's the experience, and you don't want to be in this situation, because that's a lot of time. And what I do, even in the initial assessment, when I interface with a client, in the initial assessment, when I just have a casual conversation with them, I will ask these questions, and the quality of the answers that I get will help me understand at which point this customer is. Is it a very experienced person? Is there a structure on the other side? Is there a team in place? Is there kind of a task distribution which is there? And I categorize or classify the clients in 3 categories mainly. Like, it's a beginner, it's intermediate, or advanced. If I have a beginner client that doesn't have so much clarity there, I decide at that point if I just raise my consultation fee a little bit, before starting the construction process. Because if I need to work to create, or to help you create, the clarity around what it is that you want to do, then I will raise the consultation fee and just say very clearly, okay, before we build anything, we need to just go through these things. I will take you by the hand and we'll make it happen together. But we will not build anything before there is no clarity around these points. Okay, that's how important this is. I might even decide to not take the client on, or to not build a platform for them. And even when we build platforms for ourselves, we might decide, okay, we cannot make it happen. That's how important these points are. So what we will do now, and this is just a quick introduction. Do you have any questions at this point before I proceed? Okay, good. So what you have there is a file. If you are in an office, just download it and open it on your screen. And we will go through this together now. There's a chat box in the here in Zoom, and I just shared a Dropbox file. Yeah, you see that? You just download it. Just give me a sign when you downloaded it. You don't see a file in here to all, you know, in this, there is a chat box here below here, and I just added a Dropbox link in here. I share it again. It says to me, to all panelists. Well, if there is no link, what we'll do now is just like, I will share it afterwards with you. You may need to do all participants. Okay, good. So, okay. All panelists. You see it now? Okay, let me. Yes, you're right. Yeah, no, I cannot. You see it now? Okay. So just give me a sign when you have it open on your computer. Okay, good. All right, so okay, let's do this. So the first question you need to, so again, I want to repeat this very important point. These are the big questions because we don't want to get lost in details. And before we go into details, we just want to resolve the big questions first. Yeah. So the first one that is very important is you need to give it a name. The platform needs a name. The name can be the domain itself. It can be the name of the business. It can be the name of the academy. It can be the name of the institute or the school that you want to create. Yeah, that's the first thing that is very important. And you know, it's incredible that when you talk with people like and you ask them what's your school name or what's your institute name, they cannot answer. You know, and that's a problem actually. Yeah, so you need to work on that. It's very important because in a project management tool, for example, that's the first thing you add there, the name of the project, which is the name of the platform. And when I actually interface with a client and they cannot answer this question, I see big danger, big danger, big danger. This means someone just came here and potentially this can cost a lot of time. Because if he doesn't even have a name, how are we going to clear out all the other things? Sometimes you can resolve it in just a very short conversation, but you know, if that doesn't happen, you know, consultation fee, and you need to assess, okay, we need to create an identity for this project, because without an identity, what are we talking about here? In some cases, though, that's a beginner level. On the more advanced level, you might interface with a company that has a very established team structure, and you have 7-8 people that work in there, or even more, and the name will be the brand of their organization, of their institute, of of their business. So that gives you a very good measurement tool. Yeah, it's a very simple question, but can be difficult to answer. So you want to have that clear. The next thing is, what is the school all about? What is it about? What's the tagline? Are you teaching dentists how to get more clients through social media marketing? What is your institute, school, or platform all about? It needs to be clear. We will not go into so much detail here during this short training, but not having the about clear can create communication disorder further down the line, when you you are building the thing, and then you have to structure the content, and now people don't know what this whole thing is about, and they have no framework onto which to attach the whole structure of the content. So it's a problem to not know that and to not have that clear. It should, any platform builder should be able to tell in 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, one sentence, what the school is all about. Because in our project management tool Basecamp, for example, we use for that, as I said before, that's the second thing we put in there, what this whole project is all about. And you can always refer back to that when you create the project and build it. The next thing you want to have clear and explore, which type of platform are we building? Which type of platform are you setting up? And here we just go through the big picture here. Yeah, which type of platform is it? And we distinguish between basically 3 types. Yeah, the first one is the content-centered platform. The second one is the student-centered platform. And the third one is the student and content-centered platform. It's a combination of both. The main distinguishing factor between these 3 or 2, the content-centered and the student-centered one, is the level of conversation that you have with your students. Okay, so on the content-centered platform, for example, you just have conversation on the course level. Yeah, like the comments below courses. That's where the conversation ends. But it's mainly about packaging up knowledge into a course or into PDFs, ebooks, and everything else, and deliver this content or grant access to this content on the platform. And it's totally about content only. So you will work with index pages, you will work with courses, and conversations happen only on the content level. So content-based conversations, that's how we classify this in the platform. Yeah, so you have content-based conversations on the content-centered platform. It's just about packaging up a course and granting access to this course through the platform. Now, this is the odd course builder or, someone that creates a course and wants to deliver this course to their audience or sell a course. It can be even like very large platforms are totally content-centered with like thousands of students on them. It's just about content. There is no conversation happening there. Now, what's a student-centered platform? The student-centered platform is all about the relationship that a student has with the teacher, with the coach, with the consultant. And the conversation is the main fulcrum, on which the whole platform hinges. Yeah, the conversation. So it's a coaching platform, for example, where there be a coach and there is a one-on-one relationship between the coach, consultant, or teacher and the students or clients. Or there can be a classroom environment where there is one coach and 20 students, 50 students, 100 students, 1,000 students. Yeah, there can be many different classrooms, and there can be many different teachers that have different classrooms that they teach. Okay, so just imagine the classical school, university, or institute. It's student-centered because the student-teacher relationship is at the center of attention. So what you do here, for example, you establish learning channels, yeah? And we don't want to go so much into detail about this, but just we want to categorize what type of platform we build, yeah? Is it just about content? Is it about, you know, is it about the relationship between a student and a teacher, and there needs to be conversation between both? Yes, so we want to establish that. Third type is, do we have a situation where we deliver content and we need to enable conversations as well on the platform? So that's a combination of both. And in the beginning, you just want to categorize it, because the tech stack completely changes with each one of these. Yeah, if you do a content-centered one, you don't need a whole lot of other things that you need if you build a student-centered platform. Okay, so you just want to have this clear. Next point is, who are your students? You know, many people that want to build platforms, they don't know who their students are. And it's a problem to not know that, because as you can see, some of these points, they have a double arrow that goes back and forth. So that's an invitation to just keep cycling this one point with the client and with yourself, because I don't know which type of platform I need to build if I don't know what who my students are and what their needs are, you know. You know, you might have students which just need the course. You might have students which need conversation because it's a coaching relationship or a teaching relationship. So these points, even further down, they are interdependent. So you want to have clarity there. You want to describe in a few sentences who the students are and what you'll be teaching them and how. So you want to create a bit of clarity there and say, okay, my students are, these are my students, and I'm delivering them a course, and my relationship with them is I coach them to achieve this objective in their lives or in their business and everything. You just want to have a very, like, a few sentences, not more than that. Okay, so let's carry on. Estimate growth. That's a big mistake that you can do while planning your platform, is to not estimate the growth and not put some milestones there. You want to put milestones. It's fundamentally important, because if you don't put any milestones, you want to do everything immediately, and it's a problem to do that. Yeah, you don't want to have a situation where you have a team of 6, 7, 8, 10 people, and you know, you didn't put milestones, and now we just want to make it all happen at once. It's a problem. It's a huge dangerous territory for wasting time and resources, and you know, it makes you go over the budget very easily. Very easily, days and weeks go by. So what you want to do is very simple. You just want to establish how will version 1 of the platform look like, and what content will be on there, and what will be happening on the platform, and how will version 2 look, and how will version 3 look. And you can think in years or versions, because once you put those on the timeline, you actually, you know, it becomes very clear that you actually need 2 or 3 years. It's a yearly project. Many people don't know that when they start planning a platform. They don't know that it's a year-long project. Yeah, you might have a situation where someone comes and says, okay, I want to have a content center platform. It's about one course and we are doing a launch and we want to sell that. and then it's over. Okay, very clear. But you might have a situation where, you know, you have to organize a whole library or drawers full of content, and you need to organize that somehow. If you don't put milestones in place, it gets very dangerous. So you want to do a very easy, very fast kind of a version. One looks like this. So on version 1, we just will deliver content, and it's going to be these 3 courses here, and it's going to be these 2 ebooks, and it's going to be 5 webinars. Yeah. On version 2, that we will do like after 8 months that we did this, you don't want to make it super precise. You just want to have a bit of a dimension there. On version 2, we will proceed and add conversations to it, because, you know, in the initial launch, we had maybe 100 students, and now maybe we acquired 10 of them into our coaching program, and now we want to offer them conversations and on the platform itself, and we just sold them into our coaching deal. Yeah. Okay. So version 1, version 2, version 3. That's enough. You know, we don't need to go too crazy about it, but just that. And next thing we want to have clarity over is which content types. Knowledge at the end is a product like any other product. So into which, it's a way to package knowledge up into a product. And there can be different knowledge products that we can sell on an e-learning platform, or just grant access to against the free access. Yeah. So it's going to be courses, it's going to be ebooks, it's going to be offers, it's going to be videos. The video content type in eLearnCommerce enables you to create archives of long-form video content. What this does for yourself, and also when interfacing with a client, it creates a bit of a mental order. This means, okay, we need to categorize, we need to start categorizing the content that we have. And, you know, you might wonder, and you maybe saw this yourself from experience as well, that many times you have a situation where there is no content organized, it's disorganized, it's not categorized at all. You know, the categories are not even clear. So if you don't have the categories clear, you don't even know into what kind of a knowledge product you're gonna, into what kind of product or format you're gonna package that knowledge. So in the client relationship that you have, you want to create clarity around this point. And also for yourself. Yeah, so because at the end of the day, if you have that clear, then you can easily then add the content and create really an execution plan and say, okay, now I have all this clear, and these are the content types which I will have on the platform. And also the client knows that, and maybe they have someone on their team that needs to have the, you know, has the job to just categorize all this content and deliver it and upload it in various places. And now we can start building if we have these content types clear. The next one is create your membership map and member journey. Many times, even with very experienced coaches and teachers, this is a big obstacle. This is a big problem when we reach to this point and we need to answer this question, because it's not clear many times. So what is a membership? It's a membership map and member journey. It's very easy. So what you want to do, you want to have clarity over 3 points. 1, you want to list all membership plans that you have. You want to associate all content to each plan, and you want to define the upgrade paths. Yeah. So membership, what are membership plans? Membership plans are, and the word that I like for membership, because membership is not so precise in defining what the thing is. A membership is a way to package up and create various packages of, or collections of content to which then learners and students gain access to. So it's a way to say, okay, these 10 things, we package them into the gold plan. And these 15 things, we package them into the silver plan. And these 25 things and everything else, we package them into the platinum plan. So it's packages, all right? So what you want to do, and we use an Excel sheet for that, is you want to have the names of these plans clear, because they relate back to your institute and what your institute is about, because you might have a specific name for these packages, right? Okay, so you have the cadets and you have the advanced, or, you know, there are many different ones. For the sake of this argument, we will just use gold, silver, platinum in this case. You want to have those clear. The next thing you want to have clear now in this Excel sheet, and this is a task that I give to platform builders, or when we build a platform, is, okay, I want you to create an Excel sheet, and I want you to list all the content which will be on this platform, and I want you to associate each content item to the plan. Okay, so actually this is the foundation for me to simply associate, make all the settings, and do everything. Then I want to define, what's the upgrade path? So if someone comes in, there is something free in the beginning, then he has the gold, and then he can upgrade to the silver and to the platinum. Is that the case? If not, what's the case? What's the path? Yeah, because sometimes you have platforms where people just come into the basic level and they cannot upgrade to the higher levels because they are sold separately. You know, so you don't want to have clarity, or you don't want to have that unclear, because it creates a mess. You cannot just build it all if you don't have a clarity, ultimate clarity around this point. And in some cases, this can take days because everyone needs to get on the same page. Just very simple. Excel sheet, list all the plans, associate all content that goes to each plan, and then define the upgrade paths. This is what you want to do. The next thing you want to do, and that's again a back and forth point here, you want to choose the sales model. Yeah, so you're selling access to your content against a recurring one-time price, combination of both, or is it free? Okay, so it's very simple. Now you have the membership map and the membership journey. Now you establish in that same map which content or which plan is against a recurring fee. Is it a one-time fee? Is it the free access? You know, what is it? And you want to have that in that Excel sheet too, yeah, which you produce in the beginning of a client relationship or for yourself. You might have a situation where you have a recurring payment, and then you have a, you know, combination of both, recurring and one time, or one time. Many clients, they don't have this point clear, you know, and you just want to, and you can create a lot of value already just by guiding them through this process. And it can be, it creates a lot of value because now it's clear, everyone relaxes, there is no stress, there is no panic at no point. We know exactly what we're doing. And you will find yourself in a situation where people try to just, they want to jump. They don't want to do the homework. They want to jump to the next point and then to the next point, and they just want to start building stuff. And you need to, as a consultant, even if it's yourself, you need to just stop and just create this plan first, because then building the platform can be done in a few days. It's just 1 or 2 days, 3 days, 7 days is maximum for bigger platforms. One particular point that you want to have clarity on is, do you offer prorated upgrades on your platform? Yes or no? So prorated upgrades is when you upgrade to a larger plan, you only pay the prorated difference between what you've already paid and the cost of the new plan for the remaining time in your current billing cycle. Okay, so why you want to ask this question? First of all, yeah, it's part of the membership map and the member journey, but there is not a lot of plugins and technology in WordPress which enables you to have prorated upgrades. So if you need to have these on your platform or the platform you're building, you need to answer this question very clearly, because your choice of tools restricts itself very much if you need to offer these prorated upgrades. Okay, so some plugins do it, some others don't. All right, so you want to clear this. The next one is enroll, protect, and regulate access. So that's what the membership plugin does. Yeah, the membership plugin, that's the function of the membership plugin. You create the plans, all right, and then you just grant access to these plans against a payment for free, a combination of both. A membership plugin protects the content and regulates access to this content. Okay, so which one are you using in your tech stack? You want to have this clear. Sometimes you might have a situation where you interface with a client and they already have a tool they use, or you need to take over a platform which already exists and maybe use the existing tool, or you use the content sales engine which comes with eLearnCommerce, and you migrate over to that. You just need to have clarity around this point. Which technology are we using to actually make this happen? Yeah. If you build, for example, an internal training platform for a team and there is no sales happening here, all right, and it's free, and there are clients that we have that use eLearnCommerce on intranets that are not even connected to the internet. They are just accessible by anyone inside the organization. So in that case, you don't even need that. You just can use the native authentication options that are inside eLearnCommerce. So you want to have clarity around this point. And one of the main questions that you want to ask, are there any sales happening? Are there sales or are there no sales? Or will there ever be sales? Okay, so these are the questions that you want to ask to have clarity around this point. Next thing is, how do you communicate with your learners? That refers to your email marketing tool that you use. Yeah. So how do you communicate with them? There might be situations where you don't even communicate with them and you don't need that. If you use it like an example I just made in a company intranet, you don't need an email marketing service necessarily, right? Because maybe it's just a content-centered platform and they just need to, go through that training, and all the admin does is make sure to check that everybody is going through that training in a specific interval. Yeah. There might be another type of platform that has, it's a 5-figure platinum program where you actually create engagement and you add tagging into each lesson of a course, and then you need a very advanced email marketing service, for example, that you need to integrate with. So that's a question you want to ask. How do you communicate with your learners? Okay, you want to have you want to answer this. And the last question is, will you gamify? Will you create a gamified learning experience so when they actually achieve things and learn successfully, complete courses, will they earn a badge? Or will this whole part not be part of the platform? Okay, so you want to have this clear, and then once you have it clear, you can then choose which gamification tool you want to use. So that's basically it. These are all the questions you want to ask before building a platform. Now, do you have any questions? Anyone there? This was no questions. Okay, good. once you install it, okay, okay, very good. Once you install it here, it's very easy and you can go through it in just a minute. Yeah. What you do is, what's the name? What is it about? What type of platform are we building? Who are your students? What's the growth that we expect? Which type of content are we publishing on this platform? What's the journey that the customer or client will go through once they registered? And how many levels do we have? What kind of a sales model do we have on this platform? Is it a recurring? Is it a one-time? Or is it free? Do we offer prorated upgrades? Yes or no? Okay, so, and how, which, yeah? And which tool do we use to protect and regulate access to the content? How do we communicate with the learners? And will you gamify? Once you go through these questions, then you can go and dive into the details of each one. There is no more questions on a high level. From a bird's eye view, these are the big questions you want to have answered. And this gives you a framework also to ask specific questions related to one specific project. Okay, so once you have, this is kind of a homework, and we will end this with this. Forget, when you begin a project, when you build a platform, forget the software for a moment. Forget it completely. You know, that's what I always say in the beginning. Don't think about the software. We need to first understand what kind of tree we need to chop down here before we go back and organize a saw or a chainsaw. You know, we don't know. So let's go through all these questions. Let's have clarity here on these questions, and then we choose the specific things that we need for this project. And what I would like to see is, when you go into the group and in the future maybe ask these questions, yeah, then you can create better quality questions. One question, for example, that I always ask during my courses in the beginning, and where I very often don't get a clear answer, is, why are you here? Yeah, why are you here? Because if you cleared your intention and you know why you are there, your questions will be related to the objective that you want to produce or want to accomplish. When you don't know where you want to go, how can you ask the questions? You know, it's impossible. Yeah, so this should serve as a framework to think about your project, and then also ask the questions in the group, or even when interfacing with a client. And what you can do here after some time, and maybe I do another training on this, and certainly I will do one. What happens here is that this is the first level of questioning. Yeah. So there is multiple layers below this where you go more and more into detail, because, as you already saw, we went through it. In some cases, some technology is required. In some other cases, other technology is required. If you build one type, you don't need the 25 other features that you need if you actually need when you build a student-centered platform, for example. So it should serve as a questioning framework. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So I've got nothing more to add. Yeah. This was very okay, good. Yes. So one idea that I had, and just as a final word, I think mind maps are much more intuitive to transfer knowledge, because this should be not a two-dimensional kind of a thing. It should be like a mind map, and most probably I will produce it for everyone, and everyone that signs up will get this. So they actually are taken through these questions, because we wanted to build a tool that enables you to build anything. Yeah. And so a tool that is actually able to do all that, you need to approach it with a plan. All right. So you need to have a plan. And this e-learning platform planner has this purpose. Okay, good. So that's basically it. If you have no questions at all, that's the end of it. Yeah. I will cut this up and cut these things, make it shorter, and then I will share this with everyone in the group in the next few days. Okay. Wonderful. I'd love to hear what you thought about this. If you have any suggestions on how to make it better or improve it, uh, just let me know when I post it in the group. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.